Hello, wonderful people. This is my life story. I'm 42 years old, married to a 40-year-old woman, and I got married to my high school sweetheart, Carly, 5 years ago. Carly was the sweetest and most attractive woman. Carly and I both were very social, and we had many mutual friends. She was a website designer at a big company, and I was a software engineer. Carly was very carefree and chill, and she spent most of her time shopping and fashion. People admired her sense of style. She would dress sexy at parties, modestly at work, in colorful attire when her friends were together, and primarily in nothing at home. We trusted one another so much that we had each other's social media passwords, and we would use each other's phones openly but never sought to spy on each other. One evening, there was an annual dinner party at my workplace. It was a lavish event, and Carly was invited with me. She wore the most elegant maroon sleeveless dress that was a little revealing, and she wore subtle makeup with light jewelry. She was looking so beautiful, and when we arrived at the dinner event, my male colleagues were admiring her beauty and calling me lucky to have such an attractive wife. Carly greeted everyone with grace and friendliness and joined me in a variety of activities at the event, including dancing, singing, and participating in a couple of quizzes. We were the event's main couple and were awarded the title of a couple of the night. My boss was thrilled with us because with our energy we were making that occasion much less boring. At the end of the occasion, my boss and his wife thanked us. I thought I was the luckiest man alive for having a wife that everyone adored, and a few days after the dinner party, my boss and his wife invited us to their home for dinner, and when we arrived, we were surprised to see the setup. They had set up a mini bar with disco lights and loud music, and it was a dinner just for us. My boss was known for throwing extravagant parties, but it was still a surprise to me because my wife and I were the only guests there, and they didn't need to do this much for us. I assumed my boss's wife was envious of Carly when she hugged me and gave me a peck on my cheeks but said nothing to my wife and didn't even offer to shake hands. She then excused us from the party in the midst because her sister was going into labor, and she had to leave due to an emergency before dinner was served. Now that just my boss, myself, and Carly remained in the house, we were still having a great time playing chess before getting up to set the table for dinner. Their home was lovely, and the food was ready. All that was needed to do was place it on the table. After dinner, we had wine and my boss turned on some music to dance to. My wife and I were already dancing when my boss joined and asked Carly to dance with him. It was awkward, but it was just a dance, so I didn't object. We continued to drink, talk, dance, and play. I noticed that my boss was being especially friendly with my wife Carly, but I assumed that I was drunk because I couldn't think clearly. At the end of the dinner, my boss asked us to stay for the night because we were drunk, but we ordered an Uber to get back home. The next day, Carly and I were talking about the dinner party at my boss's house. I said I felt really awkward and we wouldn't go next time if they invited us again, but my wife had a different opinion. She seemed really impressed with their house and said they were nice people, and I nodded and ended the discussion. Our routine life was perfectly normal. My wife had started spending more time on shopping and skin care. We were at a birthday party when someone commented that my wife's diamond bracelet looked beautiful. I was surprised because she had never had diamonds. When we got home, I inquired about the bracelet and she casually said she got a promotion at work, so she wanted to invest on a nice piece of jewelry. She never mentioned the promotion to me. I thought maybe she wanted to keep her promotion to herself. I assumed she might prefer to keep her financial information private. So I decided to do the same and decided to save a chunk of my salary without telling her. A few days later, when I got home from work, Carly wasn't there yet. Since she usually got home before me, I decided to go to her office to pick her up and take her out to dinner. However, when I got there, the security guard said she had already left. I called Carly to find out where she was, and she answered right away and said she had to remain late at work, so don't wait for her and eat dinner instead. I was shocked because I was at her office building and she was not there, but I didn't tell her. I just said okay and take care. I checked the Find My Family app right away to try my luck because we both had it, but we never checked. We weren't suspicious people. We just added that app to find each other in case of emergency and had even forgotten about it. But at this moment, I wanted to confirm where my wife was and why she was lying. I checked the app and it displayed a cafe's location that we had never been to before. I used Google to confirm the address and tried to follow the location. Once I arrived at the cafe, I checked the app once more to find my wife's exact location and followed the directions. It showed the parking lot, and I was able to find her car there, and as I was about to leave my car to reach her car, I noticed movement in my wife's car. The parking lot's dim lights were on, that allowing me to see my wife, I noticed, was only wearing a bra and was with another man. I grabbed my phone to record it because I was furious, and as I was recording I was shocked to see that she was with my boss, and they were engaged in the act. I was infuriated. So I videotaped everything. After a little while, my wife changed into her clothes and entered the luxurious cafe with my boss. I was horrified, but I kept my composure. I went back home and opened her laptop. I transferred her videos to the computer and began uploading them on Facebook and Instagram to ruin her life, knowing that her entire family and coworkers were on her social media. I tagged everyone on her videos so that they received a notification, and I added the caption, "I'm the gold digger who is having an affair with her husband's boss." I opened Carly's emails and sent her videos to her manager and CEO from her own account. Then I took my boss's wife's phone number from a colleague and messaged her that video. My boss's wife called me right away, so I told her everything, and she screamed and sobbed and said she didn't get a good vibe from my wife. Update: that day, when my wife Carly returned from the cafe, she behaved so normally as if nothing had happened, as if she were truly returning from work. Which made me wonder how long this had been going on. I thought of the diamond bracelet, which I assumed had been gifted to her by my boss. She said that her phone's battery died, and after charging it, she started checking her social media and fell to the floor. She assumed that she was so clever that she had managed to hide her despicable acts from me and everyone else, and she was shocked to discover that her videos were all over social media. As soon as she turned on her phone after charging it, she began receiving angry calls from her family and friends. I kicked her out of my house and filed for divorce. My boss intended to fire me, but I had enough evidence to ruin his career, so I threatened to post his recordings on platforms like LinkedIn and other social media, which convinced him to promote me. My boss's wife separated from him, but after 6 months, they got back together. My divorced wife flew back to her parents' city because she had endured too much humiliation. She begged me to reconcile and claimed she only wanted to earn money for both of us and that she was never serious with my boss. But I don't want a good digger and a cheater back in my life. I'm actively looking for a new job so that I don't have to see my boss's face again. Even though I hardly ever interact with my boss because I work on the engineering side of projects while he handles the management, and I purposely avoid his presence. I occasionally call his wife to chat and I make sure he is present when I call, but she seems to be loyal to him otherwise, or else I would have exacted my retribution from him. Thank you for listening to my story. Please like my story and subscribe to this channel. To grow this channel, we need your support, so please subscribe. We appreciate your presence here. Have a fantastic day.